what do you think is the role of sports during times of, national unrest, whether pandemic, social issues, and do you think sports and its role is evolving?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think you see it. You know what I'm saying? Well, obviously, one with the pandemic. I mean, you saw that affected it with everything from the bubble to
Mhm.
even like us now. Like the fans aren't empty. Like I mean, the fans, the stands aren't empty. Like there are no fans. Well, we have fans now, and you see people starting to have fans. But I am not going to lie to you guys. And Cavs would probably be so pissed I said this, but like that first preseason game when there were no fans, the best NBA experience I've ever had in my life. It was amazing. There were no fans. There was no drunk guy yelling next to you. It was just, you could literally, like, if you're a basketball connoisseur,
Uh-huh.
it was just great to see high level basketball. And it was like they were at practice. You
Yeah.
hear the squeaks, you hear somebody cussing somebody out. It
Yeah.
was amazing. So in that impact, obviously the pandemic had its effects with, basketball that way. Now, in terms of like social injustice, all that, politics and, Black Lives Matter and voting, I mean, I think that's a whole nother topic. And obviously we see the effects it's having. It's obviously splitting the country in two. People who think people should comment on it, people who don't think people should comment on it. And, I think for me, being a Black man with the voice to 28 million people, I would almost feel like I wouldn't be doing my community a service if I didn't say anything about all the stuff going on, about stuff that affects me. So when the George Floyd stuff happened and like a lot of that stuff happened, like, there were people in our org who did not want to say nothing. And I straight up said, I'm like, I forgot what the post was or what it was, but it was like at some point, like I had to get obviously clearance from like our head PR person or our head president of the Cavs.
Mhm.
And at one point I just told him like, yo, I'm done waiting. Like I'm sending this out. And if something happens, it happens. But I'm like, it's ridiculous that we have to have a conversation over this. So, I mean, and that's obviously like, that's stuff that affects me. So I'm obviously going to be passionate about it. Right. But I think I have to be passionate about stuff like now, like, all the crimes going against the Asian community. Like we put out a statement about the Asian community, stuff with like pride. Like we make sure we support, the LGBTQ plus community. Like I just helped direct videos for like International Women's Month. So, there are always those moments and there's always going to be those times. And, I think we're in this period of time again, like I said, we're at a very interesting moment just in our history. We're like, you got to say something now. You know what I mean? Like, and it just can't be me. It has to be honestly like my white counterparts. It has to be these big name brands. It has to be people like the NBA saying stuff like this and letting people know this stuff isn't okay. So I take extreme pride in like doing stuff like that for sure. So